Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Pickers Church. We've got Alabama Pickers, we've got Square Deal Guy, Ronnie Hart, and myself. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of relationships in your business, whether it be online or, locally. Um, Dusty, go ahead. We'll start with you. Say hi to everybody. Tell them who you are, and then
You seriously just make me go first and catch me off guard? I was typing an email.
you're the one that came up with the topic, so.
Well, it's something that hadn't been discussed. You know, everybody's kind of been on a roll. When I say everybody, like a lot of the shows and stuff, have been kind of on a roll. There's been a lot of discussion about newbies, and there's been a lot of griping about this and that, about people asking stupid questions. And I was like, guys, let's just talk about something positive and not those other subjects don't need to be discussed, but I just thought it was a good topic. So I'm Dusty. I am one half of Alabama Pickers. That's why there's an S on the end of it. The other half being my wife. Yeah, selling on, for those of you who don't know me, selling on eBay since 98-ish. Amazon since '06. I do both according to whatever the market is and whatever I get into that week. Both of them can be really good money. Just different skill set and different amount of energy it takes to do each one. So it depends on my mood, really. So that's it.
Right on. Ronnie, what's going on? Everybody knows who you are. You look a little different, but
Yeah, the wife got after me. I had to shave up. Now that the weather's nice over here, the snow is finally gone. I was able to clean up a little better, look a little more presentable.
right on. And Square just left. Ugh. Is it going to be one of those days?
Hi, my
He
name's
was in here fine for the past hour.
Man down, man down.
Yeah. And I'm Chad, Golden Finger Picker. My wife and I, we do this together, team. And, yeah, we just love what we do. As you can see, I'm in a different environment here. Still in the same garage. Ronnie and Dusty was giving me a hard time about how messy everything was behind me, so I'm like, fine. I just turned everything around, and now I got the wall behind me. So, is it better, Ronnie? I just want to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, it just bothered me.
Oh, sorry.
Just saying. I mean, if my wife seen that mess, I would be out of the house.
That's why I am out of the house. I'm in the garage. Because
Even though
Jim won't allow it.
Like that.
Jim won't
it's the
allow it.
glorified doghouse.
Yeah, glorified doghouse. But I've got my nice Diego. Oh, my nice Diego. And this is one of those woodblock prints. I've got 4 of these, and they're selling for some really good money, but I like them. So
So you didn't ever list them? 'Cause I like them too.
no, I haven't listed them.
Oh, you suck.
Hey,
Like $20 free shipping right now. And there are like 4 of them? That's not
there's
20.
4.
That's 20 total.
It's a complete set. There were 4 of them done. So, yeah. And we got Square Deal Guy. We lost him for a second, but he's back. You want to tell everybody
Yeah.
bye, who you are, and blah, blah, blah?
I got kicked off because it said the call ended because of authentication issues.
I got that the other day.
Yeah, it's weird.
Hey,
I don't know what the deal is. I'm the Square Deal Guy. I'm 90% of Square Deal Industries. My wife is the other 10% when she wants to ship things. I've recently turned full-time in the last month or so, and from part-time to extreme part-time. I've been selling like Dusty since about '98 on eBay, and back when it was torturous. And Amazon only started last year for me, but I'm very, very happy with Amazon, and I plan on focusing a lot more of my attention in that venue going forward. So that's that.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. Big fan.
Yeah. You hear, if you come on YouTube and you go to a YouTube channel where there's an experienced seller or, somebody giving out advice, one thing you always hear them say is they like to surround themselves with like-minded people. And that's what we're going to talk about today is these relationships that you build, whether it be local or, you know, online, and how it benefits you as in your business. I know I could say, if you tried this on your own, because that's how we started. If you try it on your own and you don't have that connection with anybody, you can't really talk to anybody about what you do because, you know, it used to be really bad that you were like the scum on the bottom of your shoe as far as a reseller or a dumpster diver or a trash digger, or it was just a taboo subject, you know.
You were a junk seller. Now we have, you know, like the term picker didn't even exist until, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that American Pickers is the one that coined that phrase, that TV show. But I remember before that, there wasn't a such thing as a picker.
Yeah.
You were the guy that tried to make a living selling junk. You were the junk seller.
Junk. Yeah.
Actually, when my mom in the late '80s used to be get Levi jeans and resell them to like the Japanese and the Russians, and they actually at her, like, she would have her stations at Salvation Army and stuff like that. They called them jeans pickers way back then.
I mean, the term's been around, but I don't think it was ever widely used.
Oh no, yeah, television show helps to put it on the map.
And then if you had a booth, you had a physical booth in like an antique mall or something, you were a dealer. You know,
a dealer.
We get a lot of my cups and ice in. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean and that's what we're going to talk about today. I mean, if you guys actually thought about this, and I'm not saying that Facebook is a time suck, or, you know, the messaging that we do every day is a time suck. Could you imagine doing this without talking to fellow resellers or your circle of friends? And if you don't have one, I don't want to call you an introvert, but if you're just that type of person that isn't really sociable, you know, if you check out the Facebook groups and stuff like that, that is still considered your circle, because you're getting information and you're putting out information, you're learning and stuff like that. But I've learned personally I've learned a ton of stuff just from the other 3 people on this panel. It's in 1,000 other people. I mean, it's a constant learning curve in this business, and if you had to do it all on your own, and I'm not saying people spoon feed me, it's just, but the fact of the matter is that they have knowledge of stuff I don't, and I pick it up all the time.
Now, there's definitely an advantage to living in the day and age that we live in and being in the digital world. I mean, I remember, you know, before even AOL dial-up, you know, there were BBSs that you could dial into, but I didn't have online friends. And I mean, even the first, you know, this is the first time I've really had a lot of friends in the reselling world since I discovered the Facebook groups and the Hangouts and all that, you know, 6-7 months ago. And before that, I did it on my own. I mean, I had local friends. We'll get into all that, but, you know, I had local friends you could text or call on the phone, but nothing like this kind of network of, you know, like the Reseller Society, for instance, 12,000 people. You know, like Square was talking last night and showing us in a hangout a gun that he had that turned out to be a black powder, you know, pistol or whatever. And I was like, dude, we couldn't figure out the brand. I was like, post a picture of resellers. You know, that's 12,000 people at your fingertips. You know, out of those 12,000 people, somebody in there probably is an expert on black powder guns, you know.
Did you post it in their Square?
Lord, no.
No, I didn't. I will. It's just sometimes if no one replies immediately, it can get buried in there because there's so many people posting.
Don't say that. The chances are nobody will reply on it or nil. I mean, hardly.
The real truth is it was getting late and he went and got sushi.
Okay, that's more like it.
Well, I forgot. So.
Yeah.
You're right. No, the reseller society is awesome. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. You know, it's having a lot of people is a good thing. You know, I'm even gonna like another angle on this. The friendship things is like, you know, even outside of Facebook and developing relationships with people, because you know I do a lot of yard sales and in the Bay Area it's kind of year round, and you see the same people all the time, right? And it's really cool because I know a lot of the people, and a lot of the people know me, and we're really friendly with each other, and you know, I'll be out and say there's this one guy named Rudy who goes, and I know what he buys. He buys bottles, he likes clocks, he likes some, you know, everybody's got their niches. It's kind of weird, and they know I like buying tools. So whenever there's a great sale, like he'll text me, or I'll see him at a sale and he'll go like, "Oh, dude, you got to go to this one over here," you know, and like that happens a lot. And I do the same thing for him. I'll go like, "There's a huge bottle score over at this place or whatever. It looked really interesting," you know, and so even just knowing people seriously locally, like you're literally your neighbors and stuff, if they know, you know, what you're into, it can't be a bad thing, you know, unless you're embarrassed for some reason. I don't know, but. You know, I mean, anybody I'll tell, like, yeah, I love, you know, I like buying and reselling stuff. That's, you know, what I like to do. And people will help you.
Hey, Ronnie, how many of these competitor pickers, you know, because you have them up where you're at. I mean, you've seen them, and, you know, they see you, and you get pissed. And
I never get pissed.
How many of those?
I'm a little smarter.
How many of those have you actually, like, you know, kind of talked to and it's like work deals out, or you strictly stay away from the competition?
No, I mean, I know actually in what areas there's certain people that I've either ran into, or, you know, a few of them are in the Facebook groups, chat here and there. But for the most part, I mean, I tried reaching out to a few different people, and, you know, I didn't get a good response. So, to say the least, I kind of just stayed away from it. You know, I never really crossed my mind all too much.
Really? Wow. How about your shop owners up there? And this is a good topic to talk about, you know, is these shops that you go into, do they know that you're a reseller? I mean, with us, I mean, we've got all our local shops, and like 3 or 4 of them, they say, "Oh, our best customers are here." And, you know, you could say, well, they say that to everybody. But no, they actually, I mean, they put stuff back for us if they think we might like it. I mean, this is that relationship we're talking about. They know we resell, and they don't care if you're a reseller. They're getting good money for their items, and it goes towards their charities. And a lot of them are the charity-based ones. That's what our local ones are. Even our local Goodwill, one of the ladies knows that we're resellers, and she always gives us great deals. And we've talked about her before. No, I mean, you walk in and you see their faces, you know, light up and smile, and it's, you know, how are you doing today? And we're like, awesome. I mean, and they're like, oh, we held this back for you. What do you think? And I'm like, oh, thanks. Because you develop these relationships, and it pays off. What about your local ones, Dusty? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I get 50% off every day, regardless of whether they're actually having the 50% off sale.
Yeah.
If I try leaving without buying something, they get like concerned.
Like,
you know, they all like
your regular spot where they know you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, they don't like me to leave without buying stuff, because they know that either they're pricing too high or they don't have decent enough stuff out.
See, and that's what it's all about. I mean, it's about showing your face. It's about, like, the lady that runs our Salvation Army here. She can be kind of grouchy sometimes, but deep down underneath, that's not the word I wanted to use, but it's picker's church. But deep down inside, once you get to know her, and I mean, she's cool with, like, which our Salvation Army sucks anyhow, but when I do go in there, you know, she's cool with knowing what you do, and I know a couple of local dealers that go in there. I mean, she kind of holds stuff back for them. She kind of, you know, she'll work with them on price. I mean, it's about, because she sees, like this one buddy of mine, Jimmy, that goes in there, like literally, he's in there about 4 days a week, right when they open at 8:30 in the morning. I mean, and she knows his face, and she knows that he spends $1,000 a week or whatever, and she works with him on price. She, you know, she kind of knows my face and knows what I do. I don't, like I said, I don't go in there that often, but it's about that. Even if you just joke around with the employees, take them something one time. I mean, you know, freaking stop at Krispy Kreme and pay $5 for a dozen donuts. And you would be surprised that $5 you spend, the next, I mean, if they start giving you a little discount here and there, I mean, it'll pay for itself immediately. Or just joke around with them, you know. Establish relationships. You know, even if you're a very introverted person, I mean, you can still be, you know, silent and deadly, and, you know, just say, hey, I wanted to bring you this. Doesn't mean you have to be loud and boisterous like some of us on this panel are, but, you know, but if you are that kind of person, use it to your advantage. Joke around with them. I mean, it's a tough job running any kind of resale shop or thrift store. Been there and done that. It's, you know, it's fun, but it gets old digging through donations of used underwear all day long, you know. If somebody can brighten your day just a little bit, I mean, you'd be surprised where that'll get you.
Well, I know Kim just last week, she made I think a banana bread for the ladies that are the cat rescue, one of our favorite places, and they loved it. Huh?
I didn't get any banana bread.
Who are you?
I don't know, but if you're making banana bread, that's one of those things you might as well go ahead and make 4 or 5 loaves and send them to your good friends.
That's only around Christmas time. Yeah. But
you know,
we're talking about Salvation Army, and this is another key thing. It's like, I don't know if, you know, I'd always complained about our Salvation Army, how I hated it. There was never anything there. It was overpriced and blah, 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 blah. Well, now, I don't know if you see this, every one of those stamps is a $15 purchase, and this is just since February. No, March. Since March. And after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 purchases, you get $5 off, and then you get $10 off. But since we developed that relationship with them, things have gotten cheaper. Get some more discounts.
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's like, now we make sure we stop there every time we go out. So, and it's not always, and I always complained. I hated our Salvation Army. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. And now it's like, it's right there in our loop that we take.
You know, a lot of those places, and I don't know specifically on Goodwill or Salvation Army, but a lot of, you know, even your, you know, rescue mission type places and stuff, a lot of those managers work off of, not commission, but work off of, you know, incentive type program. There is some incentive for them to get sales up in the store. So, you know, if they see you as somebody that's, you know, and a lot of them don't have any kind of program in place, of course, but, you know, if they see you as somebody that's going to come in on a regular basis and spend money, that's ultimately, not only is it giving them job security, but, you know, there might be some kind of program behind the scenes you don't know about, and, you know, just let them see your face. You know, say, hey, make a little joke with them. If you hear the employees joke around together, that's what I do. I just kind of jump in the middle and make a joke with them. You know, and the more they see your face and the more they know you, the more they're going to realize you're a regular and you're ultimately part of their paycheck.
Yeah.
That's what it amounts to.
Yes, sir. Ronnie, let's talk a little bit about online relationships. Ronnie's got an online relationship.
My wife might get upset with that.
Yeah. Do you get anything out of it? Or does it feed you, or?
I think I feed others. No.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's
about you. Your head's
lobster,
bigger.
maybe.
It's the hair. It's the sunlight today. It was like, well, it was almost 70 in Boston today. What was I gonna say now?
About how you're going to send us some lobster when Chad was sending us banana bread, I think.
Yeah.
You go fuck yourself.
I mean, we're talking about, you know, getting fed.
Getting fed.
Learning new things from your online friendships or
I mean, there's always
relationships.
things to learn from everybody. I mean, I learned certain things from you guys, and it's always good to bounce off ideas off of each other and stuff like that. So it's always good, just to have that relationship. I know if I need help with something, like the other day I needed help with a camera question, and you were able there to help me out and answer it. So instead of making me look like a douche.
Who said that? Or did you say that, Dusty?
What?
There's
That was a comment.
also roundabout ways you can build relationships. Like if you know someone who sells a certain item, you can stalk their account and see what their stuff is.
I'm stalking a few people right now.
Yeah, but I mean that's a roundabout way of acquiring information too.
I'm gonna watch whatever you buy at those estate sales, buddy, and see what you get them for. I'm taking your. I've learned though today. I went to two estate sales in Boston, and the competition down here on the Cape is a lot different than Boston. There's not much competition at the yard sales here. I mean, not the estate sales here. You get a few people. Man, there was people in their cars, I guess, for like 5 hours. It was like to wait for a number. It was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Wow. Dusty?
I mean, there wasn't anything overly excitable that I would wait there that long, waste 6 hours of my time.
And for those of you that know my kind of business model, I don't do thrift stores. I kind of got out of that. The chain stores here are kind of dried up. I go to the mom and pop stores, the junk stores, the storage unit buyers that either have a store or just do it out of their house, and a couple little mom and pop liquidation places. I just don't do chain anything really. So I've got more of a one-on-one relationship with business owners and people they're in the same struggle I'm in. The only difference is I'm selling online and they're selling out of a little beat up building on the side of the road or whatever, or a nice building. But so I've got those kind of relationships, and I did a YouTube video on it a while back about how to keep on going even when you don't feel like it. To me, those relationships have now evolved into where we've exchanged phone numbers over the last couple of years, and when they get something new, they'll text me or call me. And like I said, I did a YouTube video on a while back about how when you don't feel like it, because you work so hard to establish that relationship with those people, and they know you're a serious buyer, and when they text you, for instance, with some camera equipment, you're gonna. You don't ignore the response, because after a couple times of doing that, eventually they'll quit texting you, they'll quit calling you, you'll lose that relationship. So there was one day I was horribly sick in that video, and I'm just not feeling good, and one of my guys texted me and said, "Hey, got a bunch of camera equipment. I haven't put it out in the store yet. I've got it behind the counter in the back in a briefcase," and I knew if I didn't go do that, eventually he'd quit calling me and he'd find somebody else, and if I keep that relationship going, I'm able to cherry pick things, and that was something that just started out from me going in their stores just as a nobody and talking to them and just being outgoing and vaguely kind of telling them that I sold stuff online without getting into specifics and account names and that kind of crap. I mean, they could figure it out if they wanted to, but and the more they realize, and we've got a kind of an unspoken thing now, they realize they're selling stuff to me for less than what it's actually worth, but they also know that I'll come in and buy more junk than any of their other customers will. That I'm a big part of their bread and butter for keeping their doors open. They're more interested in most of my little stores. They make more money off the furniture and stuff out of storage units. I'm not a furniture person. Have no interest in doing that at this point. So I'm the guy that buys a small. So it's worked out really, really, really good. I'm the guy that buys stuff that none of their other customers would buy.
Well, you have a completely different business model from theirs. Theirs is moving a lot of items very fast and flipping things, and yours is trying to extract every amount out of it after you get it on different avenues that they, maybe they don't even have the wherewithal to know how to do it, or maybe they just don't have time because they're not set up that way. You can't. It's hard to do everything, So it's
and out of all of them, like my liquidation guy, he uses like Shop Savvy app. He knows how to, because he buys pallets and truckloads full of liquidation stuff. He knows how to use the Shop Savvy app, and he knows how to scan it, and it'll pop up, Walmart, eBay, Amazon, and he gets a vague idea of what stuff's going for. But ultimately, his bottom line business model is he buys for, I don't know exactly, but let's say 10 cents on the dollar. He prices everything in his store at 50% off of retail, of whatever the retail was in Walmart originally or CVS. He tries to keep it right at about 50%. But he still looks stuff up a little bit to make sure he's not too high or not too low. So he's got a little bit of the technical knowledge. He has no interest in selling online. I have no interest in having him sell online because it'd just be competition and potentially prices going up. And then my other couple jump stores that I go to, they have smartphones. They'll occasionally, if they get something weird, they'll have looked it up before I got there. But ultimately, their business model is to pay $700 for a storage unit, sell $1,000 worth of furniture out of it, and everything else is gravy. And they don't care about the smalls. That's me personally. That's the type of places that I enjoy and that I keep going back to because I can make money and it works out good. Like you said, they have a totally different business model. It works out good for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, if a guy is like, I know we've talked about that one guy that you buy a lot of stuff from, and does he want to monkey around with the stuff you monkey around with online? To him, he's probably thinking like, well, whatever, more power to you. Just keep coming back and buying from me because he's making money hand over fist too, and it's just in a different way.
Well, I mean, like at Christmas time, he had a bunch of Alabama Crimson Tide, Houndstooth, Santa Claus hats that were like the cone-shaped hat with the ball on top. He had bought them to sell in the store. And, locally where he's at, he can sell a lot of that type of stuff. But he had to buy like 500 of them. He knew he was going to have a hard time getting rid of 500. They were going to have to go back in his warehouse, whatever. I ended up buying about 150 of them and blew them out on Amazon and made really, really good money. Well, that was like, to him, he was like, holy crap, you just helped me big time. I don't know what his particular price cost was on those, but me buying 150 of them probably paid for a huge chunk of the 500, and he was probably in the profit then. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and the stuff that I buy, like Depends diapers. I mean, he had 3 pallets of Depends diapers. I mean, he's in kind of a rural area, but it was going to take him a long time to sell that many Depends. Well, I came in, and out of all the sizes, varieties, and I scanned, sorted them, and he let me in the back room, and I went through them all and looked at he had an inventory sheet. I said, I want every one of this, 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 and this. I mean, that made a huge, I bought literally 1 pallet of the Depends. Well, he didn't want to buy 3 pallets to begin with, but it was a deal where he probably got them so cheap that he had no choice. It was an all or none. For me to buy a third of them was a huge help to him because that helped him recoup a whole lot of his cost. And he doesn't have anybody else. Who else is going to come in? Unless you're in a high metropolitan traffic area, who else is going to come in and buy an entire pallet of Depends diapers?
Did your neighbors see you unloading that?
No, we've got a pretty good system. Actually, the way our driveway kind of runs along our house, we can pull the car up, and literally our porch is like chest high, so things go from the trunk straight to the porch, and then we kind of start a chain thing, and then somebody's on the porch carrying stuff in the house. So, like, it was back seat of my wife's VW Jetta. It was full trunk, back seat with it laid down, and my wife wasn't with me, and it was the full passenger seat. Like, I fit an entire pallet in a 4-door Jetta, and we had it unloaded within about 10 minutes, maybe. I've done the same thing with diapers. He had a bunch of, here's another for instance, he had a bunch of varieties of diapers that were free and clear, chlorine-free. They were, I don't know, nice way. They were tree hugger diapers. They were I want my baby to only have all natural recycled ingredients on their tush. kind of thing. And I don't mean that bad, but that's a variety that had been discontinued in the store because it's not extremely popular like just plain old Pampers or Huggies. He bought a pallet of them. They ended up in his store. They'd been there for over a year when I discovered them. His clientele could care less. They just wanted cheap diapers. So it was a win-win. I came in and said, hey, I'll take all those if you work with me on price. And he just looked at me. That was when I first got my foot in the door with him on wholesale stuff. And he was like, why would you want those? You know, at first. And I was like, listen, I can sell them. I have a different clientele. My clientele is worldwide, you know, with Amazon or eBay or whatever. And he's like, seriously, let's do it. And that was the start of a great relationship. So I'm going to quit talking now that you and Ronnie are back from feeding your cats.
Yeah, well, you know, I caught a bunch of crap for buying a bunch of those adult Depends diapers. But guess what? Ask me how many I have left now.
How many of them did you use for packing material for shipping out eBay stuff, though?
Are you serious?
I had a friend that used to do that, dude, and I was like, no, he would use the pads, the absorbency pads that you lay on the bed, and I'm like, really freaking seriously?
I would get mad if I got a package wrapped up in diapers. I would.
Where did you get those, Chad?
At a local thrift shop. They had a ton of them, and
there's just certain awkward moments that you just have this picture in your head of Chad with all these Depends diapers and what people are thinking. It's kind of like the same thing with like Ronnie with his easy bake ovens. It just kind of cracks me up, the mental picture of people, you know, the things we will do to make money.
We got a question here, Team Wood. I see a lot of resellers say they don't want to share their methods or give out tips because they don't want others to do better than them. And then you know something? I've said this before, huh?
He went on to say right underneath that, I don't see that as networking. Should we share how we do things so that we all learn from each other, so that we are all successful? I guess it is a question and a thought.
You know, and I've said this, and I'll continue to say it until it affects my business. It doesn't. There's enough to go around. If the way I look at it, like okay, I'm gonna use the blazer type thing. Okay, there a lot of hype was given to blazers, so a lot of people went and bought blazers and stuff like that. Well, this is the key. Okay, yeah, maybe somebody did put something out and it did kind of saturate, or maybe several people put stuff out and it did maybe kind of saturate a little bit, you know, stuff like that. Did that person's business get hurt by it? No, I don't think so, because for everything I put out there to help somebody, or maybe they didn't know and they use it and they better their business, okay, I get 10 back because I'm paying new things for myself from others that also share. So my business may drop 1 notch, but gaining 9 notches. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, in the overall big picture, I'm getting more out of sharing than I would get by not sharing.
It's kind of like in that movie A Beautiful Mind, Dr. Nash's theory, game theory, that like if all these guys go for the one hottest girl in the room, everyone loses. If you ignore her and everyone goes for everything and shares, you all win.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, for everything, okay.
Co-op.
This microphone, okay. It's a very nice Monarch. It's a dual impedance, a unidirectional dynamic microphone, okay? And I say, guys, this is an awesome microphone. You know, go pick them up. You know, if you see them, buy them. You know, mine's the only one on eBay. After I said that, now there's 10 of them, okay? And somebody's saying, see, now you create a competition for yourself and blah, 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 blah. Well, I've got 50 more listings that I wouldn't have had if I didn't learn from you. So ultimately, I'm doing better. I might take a little bit less on this in the long run, but I'm still making a huge profit on it. But ultimately, I'm doing better because I've learned 10 times as much than what I gave out. That's why I'm saying there's enough to go around for everybody, because if you take the expertise of other people and the things they share, all you're doing is building your business.
No, but there's, what were you going to say, Square? Sorry.
Well, I was just going to, just real quick, it's like translate into Amazon. Unless you're competing with Amazon, you have to undercut them. But I love it when people try and share the buy box, because it's a win-win for everyone if you take turns sharing. If someone's got something at $23.99 and you put yours at $23.99, you're going to share the buy box instead of race to the bottom.
Well, I got one listing I'm on, and Amazon is at $7.99, and there are 5 of us that are all at $7.50. Not $7.49 where I would want to be, but $7.50. But I know if I go $7.49, one of those jackasses is gonna. It's kind of unspoken right now. Everybody's just kind of sitting there. Nobody's undercutting each other, because then you end up penny.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation if everyone just shares the buy box. I mean, it's like instead of just killing each other's competition. I mean, yeah, maybe you have to dump some product. I would understand that. But for the most part, it's like I love it when people don't try and undercut. It's like if something's going for $27, eventually it's going to race down to 19. When people are competing so much, and it's just dumb. It doesn't make sense.
But there's a part of smart business too. Okay, like if you want to talk about local friends that I have here in this town that are also resellers, I have 2. And for years, I do not go picking with them. Never have. We do business. Like I'll say, hey, I bought this, whatever. We'll buy and sell stuff back and forth. I'll go to their house and garage and buy stuff back and forth. Don't go picking with them. Have zero interest in sharing honey holes with them, because I have about 4 honey holes that you wouldn't find in a phone book. They're way off the beaten path. I do know for a fact one of them goes in there occasionally. The other one doesn't even have a clue where they're at. I mean, it's smart business at the same time, because I learned that the hard way over the years when I shared stuff with people. Oh, where did you get this? I had my own brother freaking do that to me. I started out selling automotive parts, ATV, motorcycle parts, from a guy that got him from a dealer. He was friends with the ATV motorcycle watercraft dealership, and he would sell he would sell him the abandoned units, basically. And this buddy of mine would break them down, put them all in boxes. You got the whole entire motorcycle in boxes, and then like $200 for a whole motorcycle. Well, I was flipping the stuff to my brother, and my brother was selling on eBay for 50-50 split. I made the mistake of saying, hey, I'm going to so-and-so's house one day, and he figured out where I was getting it. My own brother went and cut me out as the middleman. So I learned that years ago. As much as part of you wants to brag to your local buddies, oh, I got this here, I got that there. As far as local people are concerned, hell no. That's and that sounds awful. They're still my friends, but if they ask me, and they have on occasion, where'd you get these? I just turn and laughingly say, really, you think I'm going to tell you that? And they go, oh, yeah, ha, 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 ha. But it's kind of an unspoken thing, too. Yes, we have relationships, but I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot.
Well, you don't want to kill the golden goose. I mean, there's sharing and helping, and then there's just like giving things away, and you don't want to give things away that are obvious. I agree. I completely agree. And plus, there's a certain amount of, like, for instance, if one of you guys told me something, I'm not gonna undercut you and go and buy the same products. And like, say you got some bolo on Amazon that no one knows anything about, and that I would feel like a jerk if I did that. There's ethics involved too.
Right.
I wouldn't
just don't care. Some people just don't care, though.
Oh, I know, but you got to pick and choose your battles.
But there's nothing wrong. But there's, like you said, there's nothing wrong with not sharing information either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of protecting your business. If you had a I don't know. Sometimes associations of like-minded businesses that are in the same town, and they put together a business association. They don't share all their trade secrets. Hey guys, I'm getting all this business over here because I started doing that. I mean, if it's a direct competitor, I mean, there's a limit to how much information you share, and there's not anything wrong with just flat out not sharing stuff. Me personally, I'll openly share information if it's something that they can't get. I've already bought them all, whatever else, I have no problem sharing it. But if it has that potential to put, to have somebody go and be a competitor of mine, no, I'm not going to share it. I'll share it after the fact, after I already bought them all.
Well, you don't. Yeah, I mean that's getting really specific too. I think for the most part, it's really cool to share knowledge and how to. But when it gets to specifics, it's like then you're cooking people up a plate of food. It's like you just that doesn't make any sense. It's cool to like give people the general sense of how to do things and help them if they want that or whatever. But do you want to hold someone's hand and walk them through Walmart and like you want to get this, you want to get that? It's like no, those are things you got to figure out. That's the work part.
Yeah. Ronnie, you got a question I'd like maybe you could answer. Pudgy Pitcher asked that some say sourcing for Amazon isn't really picking.
What it is, it's reselling. You're making money.
It's sourcing, so
I mean, well, who cares what is picking or what is not? You know what I mean? There's people that go out and buy books and consider themselves a picker, consider themselves treasure hunters. Is that right or wrong? No, who cares? However you make your money. Who cares?
Yeah, like the retail arbitrage. How long has that been used for guys selling on Amazon? It's like that's a lofty word for guys who go and buy crap and sell it for more.
I guess my answer to Pudgy Picker, if you want to look at it from a technical standpoint, my personal view, and I do Amazon sourcing. Scanning barcodes to me is sourcing. Picking is looking up items where you actually have to type it in on your phone. That's my view. That's my view. No, seriously. Picking is more, if you want to get technical and we'll argue over what buzzword means what. It's all picking, it's all sourcing.
No.
Sourcing to me, okay, no, I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. Sourcing to me means
from the hills of Alabama. That's where you come from.
Picking is more digging through a garage, digging through whatever, finding something.
Underwear out of his ass.
It's a collectible that you can't scan a barcode because it doesn't have one, and you got to punch it into your phone. It's being nitpicky over buzzwords, but to me it's all one and the same. Like Ronnie said, as long as you're making money, frickin' do it.
Yeah, because at one point there weren't cell phones to do that on, so it was all considered under the category of acquiring inventory.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
I say if I'm going to like thrift stores, I say I'm going sourcing. If I go to garage sales, I say I'm going sourcing. If I've got this guy that says I need you to come and look through my garage for stuff, I'm going picking. So, yeah, lately it's been a lot of sourcing. Dusty, there's a question.
All right, we have somebody named LX. Okay, it's Laura Lee trying to hide from everybody with her new name. So now Laura Lee has a question that said, relationships here. Appreciate time Chad and company spends helping us out in the groups. For example, the records and 8-track lots I got in months ago. But when or how do you determine it's too much?
Helping people?
I think she's referring to helping people, or maybe how much information. I already touched a minute ago on what's too much as far as sharing information. Yeah. What I feel is, and personally, like online, I'll share anything online. If I find something, now then again, if I find something at Target clearance that's a nationwide chain, I'm not a BOLO person. That's just me personally. No, I'm not going to go put it in a group with 12,000 people and go, oh my God, guess what I just picked up at Target? It's $350 on clearance. You can sell it for $39.99 on Amazon because there's 1,200 Target stores in the United States, and out of 12,000 people in that group, a bunch of people are going to go do it, and it's just going to cause the price to drop. I mean, that's me personally. But, I'll share anything else. I mean, what are your thoughts, Christmas Blend man?
I thought maybe she's talking about, because I, talked to her about the 8 tracks and stuff like that, and stuff like that. I was thinking she was saying, when does it get too much to where you're helping and putting so much information out, and I get burnt out when it comes.
You know what? Dusty just brought up a very interesting angle to that Christmas Blend. Let's talk about that.
Chad just totally ignored me when I called him Christmas Blend man.
That's because that's a perfect example to some people.
Well, but I don't think people have the correct. I mean, there's people that made a killing on that Christmas Blend because they used their head. The people who are not doing very well with the Christmas Blend probably shouldn't have bought it in the first place. For one, they didn't listen to what was said, and I mean,
well, not all information is good information either. I mean, if you have to be discerning. It's kind of like a friendship. You have friends. Do you tell your friends absolutely everything that goes on in your life? It wouldn't make sense to do that. I mean,
I just told Dusty what I did last night.
Oh, really, dude? And I didn't really need to hear it either, but thanks for sharing. You want me to share it?
It's like not only that, I don't want to know.
You got lucky.
I mean, there's a fine line, guys. I mean, it really gets to the point to where, am I tired of seeing the same person over and over and over again say, ooh, bolo, and some people don't understand what the term bolo is, because it's not a bolo. It's, but, yeah, are those people, that's the point where it's too much,
Following.
Now, okay, I'll be told, like with the Christmas Blend, let's go back there and beat that dead horse for a minute. Like, had you not ever shared it openly, and I think the first time I heard about it was in Resellers. I personally wish you hadn't have shared it, had not have shared it. But at the same time, unless you and I, if I didn't know, let's say you and I didn't know you, we didn't do Hangouts together and all that, and I was just, had I not ever read you posting that, I probably wouldn't have ever thought about it. I hate Starbucks. Absolutely hate Starbucks. I don't even go in their stores. So I probably would have never known about it. I made really, really, really good money off of it, and I owe that to you. But at the same time, I was kind of like, and that, I was on the side once I started thinking outside the box and doing different things with it that made money, not just throwing it on eBay. At the same time, I was kind of like, Chad, quit sharing it. Don't share it anymore. Quit sharing it. I'll be totally honest about that, because I didn't want more. It had already been shared and there was already increased competition. I became a little protective over it, because that was going to be, I had sunk $2,600 into it, and that was kind of my get through Christmas. Either my kids have Christmas or don't money, just to make you feel guilty. But it was kind of, I wanted you to kind of ease back off of it.
The whole thing was, guys, and people, we made it perfectly. We do not sell Starbucks coffee.
Right.
We are the people who buy Starbucks coffee. We are the people that, at a time like this, right now, we are going to be paying more for more retail than what we would have paid 6 months ago, because we're out, and we still want some Christmas blend, so we're getting ready to go try to make some deals with people. But no, I put that out as buyers, as drinkers, the people who are very dedicated to the Christmas blend, that will do whatever they need to do to get it. And that was our spill. And I don't know how many times people says, how are your Starbucks coffee sales going, Chad? It's like, Chad doesn't sell Starbucks coffee. So, yeah, we put that out there as buyers, because we know what the demand is and we know what the supply is, and it sucks about this time of year because it gets hard to come by.
Yeah, it's April, that's why.
But guess what? For people who love the Christmas blend like we do, it could be September, and
is it really that different?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried. Like I said, I don't like Starbucks, so I haven't tried that many. It was a good coffee, but I don't have a basis for comparison to their other blends because I don't go to Starbucks, and I'm a black coffee drinker, so I can definitely taste the difference in blends. But I don't really have a basis for comparison. It was a good coffee. It was definitely a good coffee. Very strong, very oily, which is how I like coffee. I don't know.
Isn't it kind of like beer, how you come out with a summer brew, a winter brew, a this brew, and each one is equally kind of good?
Yeah, but with beer, there's so many more ingredients that go into a beer. You know,
exactly.
Versus coffee is just a bean. So yeah, I see. Unless it's a flavor like a vanilla or something that has an additive in coffee, it's a little harder to differentiate.
I know, especially if you're a smoker. Aren't your taste buds a little more numb?
Oh my! Are we gonna really go there?
What? No. Okay. Let's. Well, how about Ronnie's something?
I'm an ex-smoker, so I can tell you once you do quit smoking, you do gain a lot of taste buds that you're like, holy crap, I can taste that again.
Oh, big time.
I can taste my Starbucks just fine, thank you.
He's a smoker, so he wouldn't know if it tastes like ass.
Ass blend.
No, you'll like this. You'll like this. Me and Ken went to Target, and we went to the Starbucks, and we said we would like a pour over of the Sumatra because they had some other dark blend. And she goes, oh, well, we have this on tap. Unless you have, you know, sensitive taste buds or a sensitive palate, you won't know the difference. It's like, lady, do you not know where we're at? We're at a place where people
are picky.
Like the flavors of your coffee. Don't sit there and tell me that my palate sucks and I won't be able to taste the difference in this coffee. I mean, it's like, really? Do you know where we're standing?
Go and sit down, sir, and thumb through your LL Bean catalog. We will be right with you.
Yaya said in the chat a minute ago, you know, Yaya said Chad gave out info, people didn't listen, and then got mad at him for them not listening correctly. That is why it's a waste to try to help. I don't agree that it's a waste to try to help necessarily, but it gets frustrating.
Sometimes it gets frustrating.
You've been extremely frustrated over that one because when you go back and re-examine what you said originally, you flat out did say it's a really, really tough market. You can't find it in April, May. We paid big money for it. You know, well, the good thing is that came out of that this year what are we in April, May, June? You're probably not going to have to pay big bucks because I was just looking at it while we were talking on eBay, and it's still very readily available at basically what was the original retail price. I mean, you can still get it about $14.95 a pound pretty easily on there. So, yeah, I agree.
I said this is based on last year, and you know, so I mean, you got to look into it. I mean, it's a crapshoot either way, but I guarantee people are going to sell out. And they didn't get this stuff at retail prices, you know, because Starbucks came out with, well, they're done what they did. But they came out with, you know, the buy one, get one free, you buy three, get one free, or whatever. Man, are my arms like green?
Are your arms green?
Yeah, it looks like they have a green tint to them. Okay, sorry.
Squirrel.
Anyway.
Are you the Hulk?
Are we done with the Starbucks now?
Yeah, we're finished.
Beat up enough over it.
No, I'm not beating you up. I'm
not saying you.
I owe you. I personally owe you because had you never mentioned it, I wouldn't have made. I mean, I'd have made money off something else, but it was pretty freaking easy money, and I made good money. And I owe you because it allowed me to travel some in December and whatever else because all my money for December was tied up in stuff that was sitting in FBA, and I really didn't have to do anything. I mean, it was very, very easy money. But, you know, like we've beat the horse 1,000 times, it was thinking outside the box. I never once put Starbucks on eBay. Never once. My first thought when you mentioned it was, holy crap, I'm going to go check this out and see what it's doing on Amazon. You know, and I think the people that did get upset about it probably weren't people that were doing FBA or weren't doing even Amazon Merchant Fulfilled. I mean, it's not an eBay item for October, November, December, January. It was an eBay item for now through whatever else because it's about to expire anyhow.
Ronnie, I didn't bring up the damn Starbucks, so get off my back, Jack.
No say.
What do
So
you
how's
think
your
about
Amazon?
what do you think about information, Ronnie? Because you're one of the admins on the Reseller Society, which is the place to be, by the way.
Shameless plug.
I'm not even involved in it. But Ronnie, so you see these things every day. Do you like all information is not good information, or do you agree or disagree?
I mean, that goes even with some people's YouTube channels are terrible information. Just because you have a bunch of subscribers doesn't mean you have to listen to somebody. You know, there's a bunch of people out there. I shake my head because they don't even know the rules. You find them and you're like, you find out what they're selling on Amazon by accident because you have the same product, and they use the same name that they have on, you know, YouTube as their,
Amazon.
yeah, and you just you look at them because you're curious. Or you see, oh, they have a 66% you know, rating, selling shit as parts and stuff like that. Like, no, you don't sell things as parts. You know, or you know, someone else. It's new without tags. How the hell is something new without tags? That's not Amazon. I mean, all these people jumping over to Amazon because they think it's going to be easier. There's going to be a lot of people coming back to eBay because they're a bunch of morons. You have to read the rules. I mean, people just jump into things. I mean, I was that way. I got kicked off Amazon for 2 years, you know, for whatever reasons, you know. But you know, people. I mean, you just have to.
You got to wade through the BS, right?
You have to take whatever you listen to with a grain of salt and figure it out on your own, almost in a way.
Yep.
You know, you have to test it yourself. You can't just, you know, there's so many people that they believe whatever that person says is gold, and you know, it's like, oh, so and so said it. Where did so and so get it from? I mean, if it's so and so said it and it's not true, does that make it right?
Right. Like rounding down when you're figuring your postage.
That's a moron, stupid.
Oh,
Do not round down on your weight when you're.
Oh God.
13.9 is 14. It's not 13.
No way, really? Oh man. That is,
Well, it was. I'm not going to all stick up for the person that said that because they did it on a live hangout show and prefaced it with, "I know I'm going to catch crap for this and it's going to be controversial." And it's like, yeah, because you just. I mean, that's not. I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't occasionally. I mean, I don't think there's a one. Let me put it this way: I don't think there's a one of us here that can't say that they've never fudged a little bit on postage. But I wouldn't get on a live show and say, I've been doing it for years, and I've only had 2 packages. I've only had 2 packages come out of 8 years or whatever they said, 5 years of selling on eBay. So, you know, this is going to sound like bad information, but here's what I would never say that. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've cheated on postage. I think we all have. But
I'd say that's 2 packages too many.
I wouldn't advise people to do it.
But you take that risk on yourself. You don't go out and say, "This is my advice to you." You know, do it.
Right.
It's who you want to follow too. Like, I mean, I want to keep coming back to Ronnie, but you know, Ronnie has, if you know Ronnie and you've known Ronnie for a while, he has quite a few followers who are little Ronnies. You know, he's building an empire of minions that do almost the exact same thing he does, but there's plenty of room for everybody because they're in different cities.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as they're 100-mile radius from me, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that he has trained very well just by being a nice guy, you know.
And that goes a long way in what we do. I mean, it really does. I think if you can, you know, be humble and, you know, kind, it comes back tenfold, people. No matter what, if you're out and about, we were just in Starbucks yesterday in line. Kim wanted a cup of coffee. We paid $2.76, I think, for her coffee, and we says we want to buy the person's behind us, you know. And hers ended up being, it was like $5 and something for whatever she got, but that's besides the point. We did it, and it's just, it comes back tenfold. I don't care. I'll argue this till the day I die. It just does. It comes back tenfold in life. And be a good person. Be nice. Be, there's a time when you may have to get shitty with somebody, but ultimately, be a good person.
Well, and it's like me. I don't mind helping people. That's why I do these shows, and that's why I try to help out, with Admin and Reseller Society and a couple other groups, and because ultimately I call it my calling in life, call it something that I just weighs heavy on my heart. I want to help people, but there's a line too, though, where I've learned you can stretch yourself extremely, extremely thin. There's sometimes some things. Somebody said it on the show the other night, and I think it was Chris Green, and he quoted somebody, and he's like, God, I wish I remember the quote. It was like 50% of stuff can be taught, and 50% of stuff you have to learn for yourself. And as crazy as that sounds, it's not that I'm snobby by any means, but if I don't hold somebody's hand and form that relationship they want, where I'm going to walk them through everything, it's because ultimately I don't know how to explain it. You have to get in there, and some things you have to get in there and you have to do. Somebody, I've seen a lot of posts that say, how do you get started on FBA? I mean, I don't know how to tell you to do it. There is stuff on Amazon's website, but it's kind of weird and vague, and there's videos out there. I mean, just go watch a lot of stuff. I can't sit down and type it to you in a private message or on a response in a group. Some things can't be explained. You have to get in there and do it. Create your first shipment. Figure out how to set your label printer up. There are videos and stuff for that kind of stuff, but there's some things that can't be taught, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for one, on a basic level, I don't think you can teach gumption. That's something maybe your parents have to instill in you. Because a lot of this is gumption. It's getting off your butt and working.
Right.
All right, Ronnie, we're getting ready to close this. What's your
holy crap.
Bit of advice for the week? Give somebody a tip.
A tip? Give you a tip. A tip? What kind of tip?
Something that they can apply to their business and it'll help them.
Take a little bit of time maybe a few times a week, hour or two, and just go through eBay completed listings. I mean, that's how I got started, and just went through. I wanted to learn about men's dress shirts, went about ties, and so on and so forth. Got an idea of what sells, why other things don't sell, and so on and so forth. I mean, and I just did it with a bunch of categories. I did it even with other things. Let me look at cast iron pans. Let me look at this. Let me look at that, and just move on.
Square?
Learn by doing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Get out there and use your best judgment. Buy some stuff within your means, and just do it, and you'll invariably you will learn.
Dusty?
Wow, I was reading something. My biggest advice. Wow, totally lost my train of thought on that one. If something in the back of your mind tells you, okay, here you go. If something in the back of your mind tells me, hey, don't list this, it might be a restricted item, or, if you're trying to learn, like we were talking about, learn new things by doing, or, but if something in the back of your, and that's to each his own, and everybody to their own business. And like I said, I'm not gonna say I haven't rounded down or rounded up or whatever, but if something in your mind, if something tells you, hey, I might not ought to do this, or hey, this might be restricted on eBay. I've done that before and listed something I'm not quite sure about. Stop and check and think about it for a minute, because those things that do come back. I mean, I had an item pulled this week that was a restricted item, and I knew in the back of my mind when I listed it, even though I couldn't verify if it required a doctor's prescription for this particular piece of equipment, something in the back of my mind told me, and I knew it was going to happen. Listen to that little voice. Do your homework. Maybe ask a question in a group, or ask a friend, or private message somebody. Ultimately listen to your, listen to conscience, I guess would be the right word. If something's telling you it's a bad idea, it might be a bad idea.
Yeah. And mine is organization. Get organized, folks.
Wait, turn your camera back around.
Do you want to see? Okay. I say this.
Organization.
Does that look like organization? That looks like the back freaking end of a freaking garbage dump.
I've been working, and it looks worse than what it is because I've been trying to get it organized. So I have stuff in and out. But that's, hey, I'm not going to give advice out to somebody if I'm not doing it myself. So, yeah, organization is key. I've got my brand new shelves inside the house with the boxes on them for my inventory in my storage room inside, and it's all coming together. You know, if anybody needs help on getting organized, don't call me. No. You know, there's all kinds of ways, and I know somebody to watch is Terminal 99. He has a really good organization. He just put a video out recently about it. If you want to know how to get organized, if you're getting a lot of inventory, there's a lot of good YouTube channels out there, and I'll show my system after I'm done, and I think everybody will be really impressed. It looks and works really good. So, but yeah, this looks bad because I'm in the process of reorganizing.
Dallas Moore had a lot of ones that really inspired the videos of his warehouse and stuff. Really gave me a lot of ideas for organizing. There's tons of people that do, but that's one that I would highly recommend.
Yeah. No, that's Deborah. That's Cool Toads' saying. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, I'm in the process, guys. It doesn't normally look this bad, and yeah, I've got stuff pulled out. That's why. So.
Well, the shelf behind me that never changes because it's like dog snacks and people snacks, and I've actually.
If I was ashamed of it, I wouldn't show it. You know, that's all I got to say. So.
Well, Dusty, at least your shelf isn't bowed anymore from all that stuff on top.
No, that shelf is bowed because I got it from free. It was sitting in the alley of one of my junk stores, and it's like a 6-foot-long plastic shelf that's supposed to have a third pole in the middle of each section, but that's why I got it for free, because she's like, it doesn't have the middle pole. And it's like solid plastic, but yeah, I had like 200 packs of Christmas lights on top of it.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, it looked like it was going to give.
There's like 150 pounds on the top shelf, and then all the rest of it was bottles of lotion and crap that I had to poly bag for FBA. Yeah, it wasn't designed to hold like 600 pounds, and that's pretty much what I had on it. So.
It was pretty.
Okay, well, we're done.
All right.
Thanks everybody for coming today. If you got any good ideas for if there's things you want to see for future shows, let us know. Don't forget to check out the R show tonight. I believe he got a new computer also, and I think he'll be good to go. And don't forget, I can't even think about the shows this week.
Profits is on Monday. That's all you need to worry about. Thanks, y'all.
Did you just say Picking Profits?
Not Picking Profits. Profit Talk.
Profit Talk. All right, we got to end. Late. Don't play it.
Profit Talk with Dusty, Dev, and Danica.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the shows.
The R show on Sundays.
Our show on Sunday. Crap, I forgot that Sunday.
There's the Collector's Comb.
The Collector's Comb over on Thursday night.
There's the Cast on Friday. There's
we're still live.
That'd be a good point to end the show.